Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jamie Fosnight here with Dragon Media, bringing you the North Canton. We're bringing you up from North Canton Hoover High School, the Stark County preview. Very exciting thing that Stark County does here is we bring in every school that has a wrestling program, and they all get to wrestle one match here. It is dual meet style. They're just 3 1-minute periods, but we're going to get to see some of the best boys and girls Stark County has to offer. Right now it looks as though we got Lions taking on Lake over there on the far mat there. Not sure how they're numbered yet. I'll get that for you. We got Marlington and who's that over there? Got Central Catholic. I think we got a couple of teams that are mixed up where they're not full lineups. They have multiple teams going together. Then we got over here, who we got? Is that Sandy Valley? I wonder if that's Sandy Valley and Marlington. And then right below us here, I'm not sure who we got. It looks like we got some girls getting ready to go. We got a Perry girl and I want to say a girl from Alliance, which is 2 of the best girls programs in Stark County. I think Minerva, Carrollton. Well, Carrollton's not Stark County. Minerva, Perry, and Alliance. Those are the top girls programs as of right now in Stark County. So it's pretty nice to see those girls getting after it. Had a little conversation with Steve Ramos, the new coach for the Perry Panther girls. Steve Ramos was a great wrestler in high school. I know firsthand. He gave me the business when I was a freshman, so I know firsthand what kind of technique he brings to the table. But if you're joining us, it's again, this is a Stark County preview. All teams are represented, and they're all going to wrestle like a 3 1-minute period match. There is no overtime. There are ties. It's just more or less a showcase. So sit back, relax, watch a little bit of wrestling. We'll bring up some guys to talk to. We'll also give you a little rundown of each team here. But again, live from North Canton Hoover High School, the Stark County Wrestling Preview. Looks like we have a couple of JV matches getting started, and then we're going to try and get as many kids that have potential to see their lineup wrestling. So it looks like they got a couple big guys going on the far mat over there with with Lake and Alliance. It looks like the 106-pounders are getting ready to take the mat. Real quick, to give a quick breakdown here. With Alliance here, we have third-year head coach Dave Pennington. Taking over a good program. They have a lot of key returners. Jackson Braisdon was a sophomore at 106. He's out there right now. Landon Green, both were district qualifiers. We have John Betts, who was the state qualifying senior coming back. So that's a lot of good experience coming back for the Aviators. For the girls team for Alliance, the head coach is Chris Davis. He's got quite a few girls coming back. Names to look out for. He has Olivia Brandy at 100 pounds. Kyliana Brown at 100 pounds. Miley Gross at 105. Ashlyn Pennington at 110. Hannah Snodgrass at 125. Adrian Edwards at 130. Mandy Davis at 145. And Andy Barker at 155. Definitely a team to watch out for. The Alliance girls are always in the thick of things at the state tournament. For the Blue Streaks here, we have head coach Dave Klein. And I'll tell you what, if you've ever been around Stark County or Summit County wrestling, you know Dave Klein. One of the best guys in the area. Everybody knows him, loves him. He's been around the wrestling program around the wrestling area for almost 40 years. His son's the AD over at Lake. He built some teams back in the day in Akron, Springfield that were about as good as any teams in the state. Always cranking out studs. This year he's got Andrew Cassidy, a junior at 106. He was fifth at district, so he was a state alternate. And Lucas Jordan at 165. He's a stud with 76 career wins. I'll tell you right now, he's definitely one to keep an eye on. I don't have a lot of intel on the other teams that are out here right now, but they're all just getting started here. Looks like GlenOak has some little guys out there. I don't think I have the rundown for GlenOak. I didn't see that when I was studying this up earlier today. No. But I will say this about GlenOak. You look around the room, and if they're not number one in numbers, I'd be surprised if they weren't in the top three. The last few years, GlenOak has had so many kids in their program, and you look at something like that and you know that something's coming. Something is being done right there. They're wrestling Massillon over there. I do have a little bit of intel from Massillon. Head coach for Massillon is Jesse Villers. Great dude, man. I've coached against him and worked with him. He's brought kids in my room to train. Such a nice guy, and I know how bad he wants to win. He was the head coach at Lake a couple years ago and moved on to Massillon, and I'll tell you, I just really believe that he'll pull that program together. He'll give them a nice hard schedule, and you'll see an uptick in that program. Guys to watch is my boy Devon Williams, Veach. Veach is out today. He's got a bum shoulder. He was a sophomore, had a great football season. Veach used to come in my room when he was a little kid, and he had this long hair. I used to call him Jungle Book. He's such a cool-looking little dude. But he's now a grown man. He's a sophomore filling out a singlet. Hope to see a good season out of him. And then the other big one is Francisco Salvino. He's a senior coming back. He's a two-time Fargo wrestler and two-time Fargo and Ohio State qualifier for freestyle and Greco. So, you know, when you get a guy like that that's that athletic at 190 pounds, you're going to see some bodies flying. You know, he's a very athletic kid with great feet. Always looking to advance and wrestle hard. So I'm excited to see a little display out of him today. Looks like the Bulldogs and Fairless are about ready to get their teams out here with their 106-pounders. Fairless has a first-year head coach, Wesley Yoder. He's got quite a few district qualifiers coming back. He's got J.W. Butcher, Logan Slater, Dylan Stevens, Hayden Lancer, Keaton Buchler, and Troy McVicker. Looks like they got a girl in here, Katie Burrowsford, forgive me if I pronounced that incorrectly. But at that level on D2, team like that with that many district qualifiers can really make some noise too. They should have an exciting year. Everybody in Stark County is usually very, very tough groups. All of these guys train together in the off season. So many of these guys know each other and train hard all summer for this time here. So it's exciting for them to get a chance to slap the singlet on and get a little roll in here at the Stark County preview. Now, we mentioned earlier we were talking about the Stark County preview, where I want to say it's about 6 to 8 years old, this preview. Back in the day, we used to wrestle in a postseason Stark County All-Star meet. And to be honest with you, this is a better way to make money. This includes every single kid that wrestles. Before, it was just the parents of the all-star kids, maybe state qualifiers, district qualifiers, and below. But this is a really neat atmosphere. I enjoy coming here every year to see all the old faces that you haven't seen all summer. Then like guys like Coach Klein and Coach McBurney. I saw him wandering around as his first year in retirement. Looking forward to seeing Coach Jennington's team, see how practices have gone since see how the team looks since Coach Jennington's taken over. There's all kinds of action out here that we're excited to see and excited to follow on this 25-26 campaign. See a kid from St. Thomas Aquinas getting ready to come out. Traditionally, you don't see a whole lot of kids for St. Thomas here. But I was walking around on the floor there trying to talk to some of the coaches, and an ex-wrestler of mine, Michael Wright, comes walking up to me, and he's like, "Hey, Coach, I'm the new head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas." So that's pretty exciting. I was not aware of that he was that he was going to be the head coach this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch Mike, and I know that he's as competitive as anybody that I've ever coached. Mike wants to win, and Michael is willing to work for it. So I know that those practices are going to be hard because I know how he learned in high school. So I'm excited to see how the Aquinas guys go this year and moving forward in the next couple years. With all these mats going, you're going to have to forgive me. We don't know every single kid that's out there. We don't have lineups for the guys, so I'm just going to be going off of the kids that I recognize for names and things of that nature. So forgive me for not knowing every single kid that's out there. But I see a lot of good wrestling. There's some scrapping going on out over there with GlenOak and Massillon. Seems to be a couple good battles that we've seen with Lake and Alliance over there as we move on to the next match with the Bulldogs and the Fairless Falcons. Well, that McKinley kid's a tall drink of water for this weight class. Like to see him move his feet a little bit more. Being that tall is an advantage as long as you're not flat-footed. Which is what's cool about our sport is that, you know, tall guys think that it's only short guys. Let me tell you, short guys dislike wrestling tall guys as much as tall guys hate wrestling short guys. The cool thing about this sport is, you know, you basically, you train with everything you have to throw your best version of yourself out on the mat. It doesn't really matter if you're a tall guy or a short guy. It's about maximizing the things that you can do and minimizing the things that you do poorly, or minimizing the things that your opponent does well. You know, and just a lot of times it's more about focusing on yourself and improving constantly on the things that you do well or you don't do well. And that's what makes a solid wrestler. I'd like to see this Fairless guy attack those legs a little bit here. As a short guy, I'm snapping that tall drink of water down and making him wrestle in an uncomfortable situation. There's not a lot of hand fighting or head moving. They're both just kind of leaning on each other. They're obviously not super experienced guys, but again, this is day one, week one. Everybody's a little unsure how much juice they'll have in the third period, even though these are 3 one-minute periods. Got a great crowd here. And this is 2 sessions. So the first group, like I said, we have Massillon, or we have Lake and Alliance, we have Massillon and GlenOak. Over to my left, I think that we have more or less a little mixed match with Sandy Valley, St. Thomas, and Marlington. Then on the far mat again, Lake and Alliance. The middle mat is Fairless, McKinley, and then we got the girls right down here below us. I'm going to take this opportunity real quick to talk a little bit about the Lady Panthers. As I mentioned before, first-year coach Steve Ramos, again, such a quality guy, great wrestler, great dude. I was really excited when I heard that he was taking over the job from Coach Gary Define. Coach Define is another well-loved wrestling person in the community. So when I heard that he was stepping down, I was like, oh, geez, what are they going to do with that program? And like Perry does, they reloaded with Steve Ramos, and I'll tell you right now, that program's not going to do anything but go up. They were 5th in the state last year as a team. They have Ella Simon, Mia Forberg, who was 7th in the state, Emma Shepard, who was 4th in the state, and in all honesty, they may have the most credentialed wrestler in the whole event. Carolyn Geckler, who was the state champion, and she was a Fargo freestyle national champion. I'll tell you right now, you start throwing titles around like Fargo Freestyle National Champion, you're as good as anybody in the country. I mean, obviously that's a national tournament, but the kids that go that far and do that well are next level. So she'll be a sophomore this year, so just a young one. A young one with those credentials. There's a great future in store for Miss Geckler. Again, this is Jamie Fosnight with Stragan Media. We are at North Canton Hoover High School for the Stark County Annual Preview. also like to take a second to recognize our officials. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's some great officials here, state tournament level guys, and some brand new guys that I don't recognize. It's always fun. I coached for a very long time to see these referees that I used to take to the table and argue with and have fun with throughout the course of the day. There's some really great guys, and I'll tell you, that is a place where wrestling needs its support. If you can't be at practice every day and you want to do something to be a part of the sport, they're always looking for officials. It's a great way to make an extra buck. It's a great way to stay involved, and a great way to have the best seat in the house. So we're always looking for more officials and coaches throughout the sport. So if you're just sitting at home with nothing to do, that's definitely a great idea. I think the commitment level for a referee is about as serious as you want to make it. You know, I think those guys, they get certified, they get on an app, and they just select the things that they want to do. And no more, no less, and they can referee at a super high level, or they can do open tournaments during the summer. It's just a great way to be involved in our sport. So again, if you want to be a part of something and you don't have time to be at practice, officiating is a great way to do it. You want to talk? You want to talk?
Already?
Yeah, you want to? All right, joining me here, I got a wrestler here. There's no headset on now. Oh, pull that headset down. It's up here. Just standing up here on the catwalk, and a little buddy of mine, Dom Prosperi, walks by, so I grabbed him and asked him if he wanted to be on the mic. Dom, are you ready for another wrestling season?
Oh, yeah.
I heard you had a good off season. I got a little birdie reached out to me with a fun factoid about you.
Oh, yeah.
That you were the only wrestler in the state of Ohio to be a state finalist in folk style, freestyle, and Greco-Roman. Is that true?
It is. I was quite impressed with the fact too. I was surprised.
Yeah, there's a lot of good wrestlers in the area, and that's not taking anything away from you.
Yeah.
You're an outstanding wrestler and a good ambassador of the sport. Well, I've seen you since you were a little kid in my room pulling you off of dudes, and it's been a lot of fun watching you get older and reach some of your goals. I know there are some that are still out there. What's the main goal this season?
Well, it's been 3 years, going on 4. I still don't have my state championship.
That's what I thought.
That's top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, you're close, man. Did you do anything different this year, or did you stick with the same regiment?
I was on the mat a lot more during the summer this year than I was previous years. And that'll definitely help, though, being on the mat more.
Absolutely. I definitely look forward to watching you wrestle this year. What are your are you planning to wrestle at the next level?
Yeah. Oh yeah. College, somewhere out of Ohio.
So you want to be in Ohio? That's cool. Anywhere? Do you have any special interest? Anywhere that's got your eye so far? Gone on any visits?
There's I've been to one visit. There's this college down in Tennessee, but that's a good one I'm looking at. There's a couple others too.
Well, excellent. Tell me a little bit about your team. What are your team expectations this year? Got any new young guys coming up that are going to make some noise? I know you have the heavyweight coming back. That's a real solid dude.
Yeah, we got D'Lo as our heavyweight. He's solid. He'll definitely do good this year. We got a pretty young team.
Yeah.
They're all new guys. The coach will do good with them the next couple of years, I'm sure.
That's good. You'll get to test your leadership abilities too, and that's always good, especially when you're getting ready to go into a room with 23 and 24-year-old men next year. You know. So that'll be good for you as well. You know, you have to set the tone for your room every single day and show them what, not every team out there has a dude that is in the running for a state title. So you're going to get the opportunity to show kids what that looks like. You know, I had the opportunity to have a guy in my room like that, and it goes a long way. Yeah. So make sure that you remember that and you respect that's a part of what you have to do this year as well.
And I'm definitely seeing it too. As a team captain, I see some of the other dudes look up to me, and it makes me feel good whenever I'm able to help them out.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Dom, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you got stuff to do. Hey, it was great talking to you. I look forward to seeing you this year, brother.
Yep, thank you.
Again, Dom Prosperi, returning state runner-up. What a good kid. See you, brother. Hopefully we'll get to throw some coaches on as soon as this round ends. I spoke to a couple of guys. Hopefully we'll get to talk to them and grab a couple of kids. But like I said, this is Jamie Fosnight representing Stragan Media at North Canton Hoover Stark County Preview. My goodness, you can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen how many GlenOak kids are over there. There must be 35 kids over there. You can see them all funneling back. They got a little break before their next guy went on to take on the Massillon kid. I'm not sure what weight that they're at. Looks like they're closing in on the middle weights. 3-4 matches into it here. Looks like we're going to have a nice little scrap here on the far mat with Lake and Louisville, or Lake and Alliance. Looking for a headlock out of the Alliance kid. The Lake kid counters it. He's about to score. He's got to keep him on the mat. And there's your 3 takedown. Nice double leg out of the McKinley kid there for a 3-point takedown right there on the edge of the mat. Again, Fairless and McKinley there on the orange middle mat. Lake and Alliance on the far mat, and got the girls down here below. Nice little double leg again out of the McKinley kid. Lake seems to be having his way over there with the Alliance young man. About to get his back points. Got a nice half. Might finish it here. And that'll do it. Fairless looking for a miracle here. I think he's going to get it. There it is. Oh, the ref called potentially dangerous. That's strange. Saying he was across the throat on that. Not something you see every day. Gave him his near fall. We got another guest here. Joining me now is David Talarchek, one of the people who are behind this Stark County preview here and the Stark County Scholarship Fund. David, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's wrestling season. It's good to get everybody together and see everyone. I was just saying a little bit ago how much I like the format now as opposed to what it was before with the All-Star match at the end of the year. You seem to be able to get more people, raise a little bit more money, bringing in everybody rather than just the parents of your first team all county, second team all county, and your honorable mention guys. So this seems to be a pretty neat way to kick off the season.
Yeah, we bring in, all the teams can bring in all their wrestlers. Every wrestler gets a match. We get all the coaches, because the other thing, after the state tournament, they have the NCAA. So a lot of the coaches leave to go watch, and I get it. So with this,
you got youth OAC, and you have the middle school OAC state tournaments. You have the nationals. You have D2 nationals that are all on separate weekends. So, yeah, I get it that this works out a lot better.
I think the coaches like it as well, because this is kind of their first competition. They've had some scrimmages, but they're actually getting out, and it also even gives the ref a chance to, get back on the mat again, and so it's worked out well.
That's what I was going to say, because like a scrimmage in wrestling is a little bit different than like in maybe football. Even in football, it's not a real football game. They go 10 plays, then the other guy goes 10 plays. Even in high school, they may run the clock for 5 minutes, but rarely. It's usually all about just running plays. Whereas wrestling, you're in your practice gear, you're doing 10-minute goes with a bunch of different kids. This is totally different because you do your pre-match routine, you put your singlet on, there's a referee, you really get a good look at how your kid prepares, how he is mentally before he goes out there. It's a nice way for the coaches to see that aspect of it before the season starts.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about, I know your dad and I said Kent Turner earlier. I got that name wrong because that was his son's name. Tell us a little bit about how this started and a little bit about what it's done in the past.
So my dad got together with some people, and he was like, we got to find a way to get these Stark County kids to college, but we also have to find a way to help pay. So the first 2 scholarships, I believe, were each maybe $500 a piece, and it started in 1979 is when it really started, but they gave the first scholarships in 1980. They gave out 2. Now we're giving out almost about $1,500 scholarships. Wow. And then you can apply for the next 3 years, which just really just shows that you're still in school. You get an additional $500 for the next 3 years.
That's awesome.
So it's like a $3,000 scholarships, and we're still trying to help wrestlers, match stats, managers. And it's worked out nice. I'm glad to still see it going, and that's why myself, along with Kurt Hamilton, decided to take over the Stark County Scholarship Fund. And, we do the reverse raffle. We do this, and then we also have the reverse raffle to raise money to help the kids.
What's the date on that again?
February 20th. It's a Friday.
February 20th. Friday, a reverse raffle. You can get a nice meal, have an opportunity to win a little bit of cash, and donate to a great cause. The wrestling in Stark County is second to none. It's a great environment with great coaches. We have great officiating at all our duels. It's definitely one of the better counties in Ohio to come check out a match. So if you're interested in that reverse raffle, we'll have details online for you. So what are you up to now? Are you still helping with any wrestling?
Yeah, I still teach, and I coach junior high wrestling at Northwest in Canal Fulton.
Well, that's not a bad middle school coach to have underneath you. If you have 40 years of coaching wrestling?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember you were coaching when I was wrestling. I have 25 years of coaching experience. Well, that's a lot of fun, and like I said, I was mentioning giving back to people that maybe you don't have time to go to practice every week. The referees are always looking for more people, so we can always use more officiating for the youth and high school levels, and it's a great way to get back. And actually, they pay pretty decent. You can make a little money, doing it. So, that's definitely something that's a problem in all sports is finding officials.
Right.
Are there any kids you're looking forward to seeing today?
I'm trying to get around and see a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to coaches. Just, getting ready to get this season started.
Yeah, I can't wait. So next week, or this week is the official first weekend? This weekend?
Yep.
Then we'll be broadcasting our holiday tournament here as well, and that's always a great it's a great way to see where your kids are at, man. One of my favorite wrestlers in Ohio history is post when I was a kid. This doesn't count the guys I looked up to. Is Benny Pazook from Carrollton. Benny Pazook was a 4-time state finalist, and he never won our holiday tournament. Benny Pazook never won our holiday tournament. There was one year where his sophomore year, the first round match was him and Jordan Decatur. That was a first round match. That's an Ironman first round match. But if you remember right, Jordan didn't make weight his freshman year, so he had no credentials. So he was unseeded, and that was the first round matchup. I couldn't believe it. It was actually really cool. Coach Pazook came up to me. He was like, "Can you believe this? We're about ready to wrestle Jordan Decatur in the first round of this tournament." He's like, "Can you pull any strings?" I'm like, "No, we can't do that." And he came up to me 2 minutes later and he goes, "It's okay. Benny's ready. Benny wants to do this." And Jordan was a great kid too. Like those two were amazing kids. To both of them, class acts all day, and to see them wrestle first round was an amazing. I'll just never forget that about our holiday tournament. Oh. How is your middle school team going to do this year?
We're going to be okay. My numbers are pretty good. I got some first-year kids, but they're scrappers. We came over and scrimmaged at North Canton before this, and I thought we did well.
I'll tell you, middle school is so much fun. I've coached every level. Middle school is fun because, you can have a kid that's wrestled since he was in first grade. He's a 7th grader on the team, and then you get an athletic kid that just came out of the hallway and joins the team, and he doesn't know any better. He doesn't know he's supposed to lose to that kid. He doesn't know, and then all of a sudden you teach him a nice double leg, a wrist and a half, and all of a sudden he's 17-2.
Right.
And that's one of the most fun things, So, and you hear that in this sport, oh, my son's in 7th grade. He missed too much. I don't want to have him do it. I'm like, man, that's that age range, because you got, puberty, maturity, and things. Everything changes, and it's a brand new start.
Right.
And that's another thing that I tell youth parents. The bracket dad, that is over there looking at every bracket, and he's like, "Oh man, we might have to wrestle him when we're seniors." And I'm like, gee, I'll tell you right now, your kid's in 5th grade. There's a kid that's on the basketball team at Northwest that doesn't know a single leg from a hole in the ground, and that's the dude you might have to beat when you're a senior. So don't even get all caught up in all the brackets when you're in 3rd grade. Oh, we got some action. Oh, an illegal headlock. McKinley was going wild. Brad Scarborough calls the illegal hold. Looks as though he had the wrist, but he didn't have the elbow to make it a legal headlock. Brad's a great guy. He was one of the guys, he was reffing one of my matches one time, and I yelled locking hands because it was middle school, so you're yelling locking hands all the time. And Brad looked over at me and he goes, Jamie, you just yelled locking hands 52 times in this duel. And I go, Brad, you missed 52 locking hands calls. He put his head down and chuckled. But, you do this long enough, and the referees are a part of it.
Right.
You build relationships with those guys, and you go to the table, you can scream at them, they can put you right in check, and then you sit down in the chair, and then next thing you know, you're sitting next to them, joking around about something that happened last week, and because we spend the whole day together. It isn't like a 4-quarter football game. We're spending from 3 p.m. to midnight on Friday, and then 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday a lot of times together. So, the relationship you build with the referees is a major part of this sport too. And how long now, David, have you been involved with the Stark County wrestling?
Oh boy, I'd say about the last 10 years.
Okay.
I got involved because I knew eventually I'd be one of the guys who'd taken it over, and I just wanted to see the program continue to grow.
Right.
It's something my dad helped start, and I just want to keep it going strong.
And your dad influenced so many people that are in the gym. They don't even know it.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see the coaching tree of North Canton wrestlers. And I remember a couple years ago, the peak of Canfield wrestling. I watched one dude come out, he faked a high crotch, he snapped to a front headlock, dipped his head around, and he kicked him out, and I'm like, man, that looked like North Canton wrestling. And then I look over, Dave Crawford's in the chair, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I grew up on, right there, exactly. So you see it all over, if you're, you came up through our system, and you had your dad, you can spot a North Canton trained kid, from a mile away, which is what's fun about, wrestling. I can always spot a Brian Dolph kid. I can always spot a St. Paris Graham kid. There's just certain things that you see of different tendencies and styles and ways that they get in and out of ties to their attacks that are different per team and the way that they're taught. You can spot a Dave Klein kid. It's a lot of fun to watch that. And North Canton definitely had a style back when your dad was our coach, for sure. Which is seemingly a lost art, to be honest. There's not a lot of takedown and let them go. There's a lot more nowadays of take them down and grind them out. Back in the 90s, 80s, back then, Ohio wrestling would take a little bit of a black eye because we were feet guys, and then you go over in the PA and they'd ride us out, and we'd think they're stalling on top, but they really weren't. They were, they were riding the way they were taught. But you see a lot more of the takedowns at the end of the match instead of the beginning. They'll grind them out. They'll get a set of back points. They'll ride them the first period, and then they get their bonus towards the end of the match. And I like to see that, but it isn't what I grew up on.
Well, and also,
what would your dad do with a 3-point takedown?
Well, that, and I take you down to your back. You could be down 7-0 awful quick.
Yeah, there's positives and negatives to the new scoring where the takedowns are worth 3 and back points are worth 4. I wasn't the biggest fan because you see the highest level guys, so you sit around the gym for 3 hours getting ready to watch them, and they're teching guys in the first period now, whereas at least you get to see them wrestle into the third period before. So that's one of the things that I don't love about it, but you also get a kid who might have the next level on his mind. He might have a full ride scholarship. He's not risking his safety as long. He's off the mat a little quicker as well. So there's that aspect to it too, and I can hear that argument. Oh, big takedown out of the late kid on the far mat there. Again, Jamie Fosnight and David Talarchuk here with you at the Stark County preview at North Canton Hoover High School. Got Lake and Massillon going. We have Marlington and Sandy Valley, Lake and Alliance, McKinley and Fairless, and we got the girls on the mat right below us here. So like we were saying before, each kid, even some of the JV kids, every kid that you brought gets a 3-minute match.
Yep.
Which is a great way to get your season started. 3 1-minute periods, no tie, or when there are ties, there's no overtime. We're just, again, it's just a preview. They're half matches, obviously, when they get into the season. They'll go 3 2-minute periods. It's funny to see some of these guys will be in the hallway, really struggling to survive after a 3-minute match, questioning life, because in like 4 days they're gonna have to wrestle a single match that's just this twice as long. We're close to a scissors over there on the far mat. They wrestled out of it. We're into the middle weights here. We're about halfway done with this session. We'll have a whole second round to go here. David, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did.
Good.
Boys were over. Mother-in-law came down, and brother-in-law, and it was good to be with them.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, it was smaller. My dad's not feeling very well, so they stayed home this year. I hosted my wife's family, and my kids and my cousin came over, so we had, we eat good in my family, so I made sure that everybody was stuffed before they left. Well, David, thanks a bunch for jumping on with us. You're always welcome when we're broadcasting to jump on. If you pop into the holiday tournament, feel free to come up. I know there's a lot of faces you'll recognize here for that one. But thanks again for helping put this on, and I wish you the best of luck this season with your team.
Thanks again. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, David. David Talarchuk, ladies and gentlemen.
Geckler's next match.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a couple of people lined up here to jump on. I want to give, I got Anthony Hilliard here with me. Wanted to give, he's one of the most well-versed ladies wrestling guys in Ohio. And I thought he'd bring him on. He could give a quick breakdown of the ladies that we look forward to seeing this year.
Yeah, we got big things around here with the ladies this year. Coming up next here on Mat 1's Carolyn Geckler from Massillon Perry, returning state champion as a sophomore.
Yeah. She was also freestyle national champion.
Fargo,
yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. What else? That's the obvious one. What other good ones are coming up?
Let me pull the list out.
I know my first year broadcasting, I thought I was going to do the girls' state finals, and I called this guy, and I was like, give me the breakdown. We spent like 4 hours on the phone. You told me about every girl.
Back then, I knew them all from top to bottom, and I've been away from it a couple years now.
Yeah. Your daughter's wrestling at Mount?
My daughter's not wrestling at Mount. She is having a baby in April now.
Really?
So I'm going to be a grandpa.
Well, congratulations.
I don't have any boys of my own, but she's having a boy.
Oh,
so,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Hilliard wrestling will live on.
Yeah, trying to see here. Is Geckler up yet?
Yeah. It's definitely a Perry girl.
She will be wrestling Ashley Feather from Tuslaw. Here we go now. Boy, your table's at a bad place here, Jamie.
Yeah, I didn't set it up. This was what they gave us.
Quick takedown to her back. 4 near falls held.
Yeah.
Going back to their feet.
That's just filthy. Little slide by.
Dubstat just named Carolyn the #1 girl pound for pound in Ohio.
Really?
Today, so, yeah, big things there.
And I see girls from almost every team now. You know,
I
like,
saw McKinley.
yeah,
has a girl
that just
out here.
that was what
Yeah.
made me say it. I see a girl. She's got her pink shoes on. She looks ready to roll. Sitting mat side there.
Louisville has one this year. I don't know that I've ever seen a Louisville girl.
That might be true. Yeah, I don't know if I know about of a Louisville girl. That's the end of the period there with Geckler.
(16-2) after the first period. 1 minute.
1 minute period. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. See if she takes her feet to back. Out of bounds.
But to her back.
To her back, yes.
And she's just a sophomore, correct?
She's just a sophomore. She's headed out to the Olympic Training Center next weekend.
Wow.
Feet to back, gonna get a tech pin right here.
There it is.
Woo. I see at 125, 130, Kaylee Wiseman for Perry. She was a district qualifier last year for Tuskegee Valley.
Okay.
Must be a move-in.
She must be because her I want to say her dad is helping with the. I know Wiseman is helping out with them, and I was busting his chops. I'm like, you're a GlenOak guy. What are you doing over here with these guys? So that explains that. That explains that.
Alexis Bean from Marlington. Wonder if that's Aiden's sister, little sister?
Yeah, that's possible.
And Madeline Bean wrestled for Mount Union last year.
Okay.
I think I saw her helping coach the girls at Marlington this year. The next big one to look out for is Emma Shepard from Perry.
Right. She was returning state placer.
4th at state, I believe.
Yes.
Nadia Turner from Perry, that's who wrestled my daughter here a little bit ago.
Oh, okay.
I see Dave and Ryan Riggs over here waiting to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm
so
going to grab them here.
I better jump
it was
off,
awesome to see you, man.
Anytime
Good luck.
you want to talk girls wrestling, let me know.
Absolutely.
I'll do some commentating
There
with
you
you.
go. Absolutely. Good to see you, brother. Take it easy. One will be on the mic. I would give him mine, but I sweat too bad. All right, we're back here, ladies and gentlemen, with a little bit of wrestling royalty. We have Dave Riggs, the guy who built the Massillon Perry wrestling program, and we have Ryan Riggs, his son, the head coach of the Mount Union. How we doing tonight, fellas?
Hey, doing great.
Doing really well.
Oh man,
It's
great to see you guys. Dave, well, I just had David Tularczyk on here talking about the history of this event. You know, where it used to be a postseason all-star meet. Now, as a preview, just out of curiosity, what your thoughts are. We spoke a little bit about how, you know, an all-star meet's kind of an all-star meet. You know, it's after the state tournament. Obviously, the kids aren't going to take it that serious. But something like this, you know, you go to your scrimmages, and then all of a sudden, you know, you have this where you get to see the kids pre-match ritual. He gets a singlet on. He has a referee. What are your thoughts about the differences between the two?
Well, I like them both, actually. You know, and then how this started with Walter Larchick and the North Canton Booster Club. I mean, there were some incredible people in there that just had a great vision.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know how it even started. So a lot of Walter Larchick, I give a lot of credit to as far as many things in Stark County. I mean, he really was the innovator of the sport and
Right.
Just a fighter. And as far as the preview, I kind of like to preview a little more as opposed to a post. They're a little more serious out here, whereas a postseason, the season's over, most of them are
Right.
overweight, and they didn't put a lot of effort into it. So now there's a lot of effort. These guys are trying to win.
And, you know, it's also a fundraiser, you know, so the old way, you're only getting the top tier kids, you know, through first team, second team, and honorable mention from each area. Here, this at least, you get every single kid, their parents come buy a ticket, and you can make a little bit more money for such a good cause. So that's another positive to it being at the beginning.
Yeah, the Scholarship Fund is a wonderful cause, and like I said, Walt and Glenn Mears and many other parents that you'll remember the names a little better than me. But this is
Mr. Turner was a main guy on all this.
Don Turner, wow, yes.
Who just passed about 3 years ago or so, maybe 2 years ago, but he was a big instrumental part of it. And his youngest kid graduated probably in '89 and still stayed involved with this all the way up until like 3 years ago.
Yes.
So, that's what it takes. And then it takes a younger crew to come in and help take it over, which is David. And, they're ready to start passing it down to some younger people. I got my text. I don't know if I'm ready to get involved with all that, but we'll see. Ryan, tell us a little bit about the Mount Union Raiders.
Yeah, we have a really good group and added some more coaches on staff. It's been a great year already, and happy to be here. We have 5 Stark County guys on the roster. We have 2 returners, Marlington, Carter Hill, and Cam Mitchell. 3 new guys, Ben Brownfield, McKinley. Cody Miller, Canton South.
Nice. Cody Miller's a nice one.
Yeah, really good kid, and he put a lot of muscle on. And we have Jamie Lemon, graduated Massillon Perry in 2013.
Very nice. Little story about Cody Miller is I was running those dungeon practices in the youth, and I'd have like 80, 100 kids coming every Tuesday, and I had my state tournament practice, and I didn't even recognize all the kids. I didn't know who was good and who wasn't and all that. I was just running a practice, and I told him, I was like, if you're doing well, come up and tell me. I'm excited to hear if you're doing, if you're winning. And this little guy from Canton South come up to me, Coach, I won my first match. I'm like, nice. Hey, Coach, I won my second match. Hey, Coach, I'm in the finals. And I'm like, who is this little dude? And it was Cody Miller, and I didn't even know how good he was and how tough he was until that moment. And then the next couple years he was in my room, and then he grew up to be a classy young man all through high school. He's a great kid, good parents, and he works really hard. So you got Josh Carmen out of Carrollton too, right?
Carrollton, Josh Carmen.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. He's a classy kid, great family. He's a hard worker. He had great influences, so I know he'll do really well too for you. What's your first event you got coming up here?
Well, we started season with our Mount Union Invite November 1st, and we've been rolling some competitions, duels. We have Ohio Northern at home tomorrow, 7 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So if you guys don't have anything going on, there's a nice duel at over in Alliance at Mount Union tomorrow. That should be good fun. Coach Riggs, do you miss being in the thick of all this?
Oh, I had my time. I'm okay.
Yeah. It's fun to watch from afar too.
A lot of fun.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I had David on, I talked about Walt Talarchek and his coaching tree that he provided, that there are people out here that are impacted by the way that he coached that don't even know it. Same with you. You impacted so many people, and there's so many guys out there that you coach that are coaching now that it's always fun to see that live on. But give me your thoughts on the new. I'm excited to see this. This is the new ladies coach at Massillon Perry.
Steve Ramos.
Yeah.
Awesome guy.
He definitely is. I look forward to seeing him out there.
Yeah, I believe you guys wrestled in a duel. Yeah,
we did. I mentioned that. I wasn't afraid to say it.
Yeah.
That was 2 weeks in a row. I wrestled 2 studs, and I was up 5-0 on both of them, and ended up getting teched. I had a little freshman barrel roll that caught some seniors off guard.
You did a great job. I remember it was 5-0 right off the bat.
Yeah, Steve is an awesome guy. I mean, he was a senior when I was a freshman. There was no reason for him to go out of his way to say hello to me, and he always did. And in all the years past, I mean, we've been out of school 30 years almost. but it's like, it's really neat. We cross paths at lots of different things, and he'd come up to me, and I didn't even recognize him a couple of times over the years, and now I do. I know it's him every time now, but yeah, he was, I'll never forget, when we wrestled Lake, and then we had you guys, and this you'll get a kick out of. Coach Talarczyk, we got pounded by Lake, and you guys were good, but you weren't the Perry yet of today. And Coach Talarczyk looked at us in Lake's locker room, and he goes, "You couldn't handle the farm kids. The bikers are coming to town next week, so you guys better get your stuff together." You know, and so the Perry kids were some of the first kids we wrestled with tattoos.
Yeah, there were kids that had mustaches better than mine.
Right, yeah. That's hilarious. I still see Sean Smith. We work together, and still cross paths. I see Ricky Everhard down here taking pictures.
Yeah.
You know, there's just Perry kids everywhere at this thing.
Yeah, we're very grateful. And a lot of the Hoover guys are still here.
Oh, yeah.
Working away, and look at you guys. Stargate, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be able to do this. You know, I tell people I had my diapers changed on wrestling mats. There isn't anything that I understand better. So with a little bit of knowledge and a mouth like this, I can get away with a little bit of broadcasting, I guess.
This is wonderful.
We just had Dom Prosperi on a little bit ago, Canton South kid, returning state runner-up. Little fact about him is he was the only kid in Ohio to be a finalist in freestyle, Greco, and folk style.
Wow.
And I asked him if he wanted to wrestle at the next level, and he said, yeah, somewhere in Ohio, so there you go. He wants to stay close to home, so I think that he'll have a good shot at a state title this year. There's probably about 10 kids out here that have a shot at a state title this year between the girls and the boys.
Yeah, Stark County's got some quality wrestlers again every year.
Absolutely.
They're super grateful.
Absolutely, and you were a part of setting that bar. Like Walt Talarczyk set that bar, and you were like, okay, I can reach that bar. Now it's somebody else's turn to reach up and set that bar. You know, and that's what makes it great. One of the things I'm a huge fan of is, and they didn't do this while you were coaching, is the Iron Boys. The thing they do over in Marlington for the JV kids is just amazing. Like every Sunday, or maybe it's Monday. I think it's Monday. Every Monday you can take your JV kids over there and they get 3 or 4 matches.
Wow.
I mean, you know, the one thing that separates, I believe, Ohio from some of the other states is, you know, you can look at California. Yeah, their state champs are as good as our state champs. But our, like, state alternates will smoke their state alternates. Like, our middle ground is there's so much more depth here. And stuff like that, where you're getting, JV kids are getting 3 matches a week, you know, on top of their regular schedule, is such a great way to improve our sports, because, you know, I don't want to say anybody can take an elite kid and make a good wrestler out of him, but it's that kid that you need to not get pinned against a senior to win a duel. That's where the real coaching comes in, you know, in some of these nail-biter matches. So we're grateful that Stark County does something like that too. And I mean, you'll get kids from Youngstown. That's huge. It's a really neat thing.
Well, there's definitely some depth there.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of really, those depth guys we're talking about, maybe it's an alternate or close to it, going D3. It's incredible. And then the results you're getting, Jordan James, Ryan, maybe you can talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Jordan James grew up in Cleveland and was always part of the Fargo national team, and that's where we built a good connection. And came to Mount Union, won 2 national titles.
Nice.
And having that previous connection with them, it was big.
Yeah.
You know, and doing that COVID waiver at Mount Union, you know, was special. Coaching him to a national title, and he had a lot of adversity. He broke his hand at the Purple Raider Open, which he won, and that was January. And then we're at the national tournament, second match. dislocated his thumb all the way backwards, and my dad was there.
It was bad.
Yeah, really bad.
Couldn't
And we
even
had a good
tie his
athletic
shoes the
trainer.
next day. Couldn't even
Right.
tie his shoes in the semis.
So it
Just
ended up being a
tape
lot
it up, tape it to his hand, and let him go. Yeah.
Both thumbs were taped down that match, and then from there he just taped the thumb, which ended up being torn tendons. But just the amount of drive and determination, he was so focused that whole weekend, and to earn a second national title was not easy to do.
Yeah.
And you had COVID in between. He was the only back-to-back national champion.
Even at dinner, his mom had to cut his steak. Both thumbs were so bad. Now, he wasn't even, was he a state qualifier?
He was a state qualifier one time.
One time. And
Yeah.
he just blossomed. I mean, that's incredible.
And some kids do, and that's the hardest thing about you. I was talking to David Talarczyk a minute ago about youth dads all like looking at the brackets and all that stuff because he coaches middle school. And I was like, I would tell the youth dads, you're looking at a bracket sheet of third graders. I'm like, yeah, you might have to beat that kid, but there's also a kid playing basketball at Northwest. That doesn't even know a single leg from a hole in the ground, that you might have to go through at the state tournament. There's still so much to change.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the same with that, guys, there's the obvious maturities of a man, you have that 7th and 8th grade, you have that sophomore, junior, and then you have that 18 to 22, where all of a sudden man strength is different, that grip strength is a whole different animal, and you don't know. A guy that is a one-time state qualifier could go to a Division II school, Division III school, wrap him around the right people, and all of a sudden he's a next-level athlete. So that's another thing that's fun about our sport, right?
Very grateful. Yeah, I got cut from basketball. That's how I started wrestling. Best thing ever happened.
I was never allowed to try out for basketball. Never really was like that interested in it, but I was just always told you were too short, you won't play. I'm like, all right, I'll ride with my brother to wrestling practice then.
Yeah, Ryan didn't have a choice. We knew right away.
Yeah, whenever we would play basketball, as long as I'm going against wrestlers, I'm pretty good.
Right. Do you ever have the boys play basketball at Mount?
Oh yeah, knockout. We do an annual knockout tournament, and I've won that numerous times.
When I was in college, we did that all the time. It was one of our morning workouts. He would split us up into groups of 5, and we'd play basketball in the morning. Just something different to get us our heart rate up and have us running around and sometimes it can turn ugly, so you got to keep a close eye on it because wrestlers don't really know what fouls are.
If they do know, they don't care.
You're right. I think if I touch the ball, I look at it as like a defensive football player. If I touch the ball, there's allowed to be contact. So there we'd be knocking each other down and all that stuff.
Yeah, I see the teams are warming up back here. We should be starting.
Yeah, we're getting close. One more thing before you leave.
Yeah.
Tell us about your grandsons. How are they? Did they have a good off season? Are they ready to go?
I would say they're ready to go.
Boy, I'll tell you what, they're fun to watch. And we talked a little bit earlier about styles, certain ways different coaches are. Like, you could pick out a North Canton kid from a mile away.
Yeah.
You could spot a Brian Dolph coach kid from a mile away.
Yeah.
And you can spot Perry kids from a mile away with the way that they wrestle. And your sons or your grandsons epitomize that old school Perry style, in your face, hand fighting, getting to the shots and all that stuff. They're a lot of fun to watch. So I wish you the best of luck this year as a grandfather.
Yeah.
And I wish you the best of luck as a coach, man. I hope you have a great season.
Yeah, we're very grateful to be on with you here.
Oh, absolutely. Anything else you want to tell us about the Mount Union program?
Yeah, first is, we love guys in our backyard. I grew up in Sark County, wrestling for my dad, and now coaching in Sark County. This is a great preview before the season, and we have a lot of recruits here.
Yeah.
And we always love getting those guys, in our hometown. So many good coaches, and secondly, a lot of wrestling club kids here, too.
Yeah.
I took the club over for my dad, and we host it right out of the Mount Union room.
Yeah.
And just a give back to the community and all the programs east of Canton. Even we get a lot of Marlington and Youngstown and all over Northeast Ohio and some PA too. So love seeing a lot of the club guys here, and that's all levels, youth through high school.
Yeah. You built quite a little army there over there at Riggs Elite.
Yeah.
And I did notice that it moved over to Mount Union, so I knew that was a great move. That was a great move. So you should be able to funnel some kids your way that way.
Most of the Perry team last year was Riggs Elite guys.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few in all the teams, actually. At least somebody from every team.
Right.
Pretty amazing. And appreciate all the coaches and just the trust and letting us train them.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Well, the results are there. It's not hard to convince a dad that that's the right place to go.
We had some great people, and Ryan's got some great coaches out there, and it's quite a staff. And it's called the Riggs Wrestling Academy now for IRS reasons.
Okay. Well, awesome, fellas. It was great having you. I wish you the best of luck this year.
Thank you. Really appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Coach Dave Riggs and Ryan Riggs here with us. I'm going to take a little break here, and we'll get back with you. This first round seems to be wrapping up. We'll jump back on as soon as the next round starts.
Attention, I also need Tyler Johnson Garrett from Tuslaw and Minerva from McKinley. Tyler Johnson Garrett and Minerva from McKinley. Mat number 1, table please.
jump on and get him before these guys start.
I think Hoover just.
I want to watch. You gonna talk to him? Talk about whatever you want. Don't swear. Oh. All right, we're back. This is Jamie Foss night at the Stark County preview here at North Canton Hoover High School. I have an ex-wrestler of mine who is the head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas, Michael Wright. How are you today, my friend?
Good. It's glad to be on the show.
Yeah. How did this come about? I was kind of blindsided when I heard you were the head coach.
Yeah. So first of all I started with soccer at St. Thomas, but they needed a new head wrestling coach, and I just honestly felt called to be part of this, growing the program, going to get back to a great place.
Well, you wrestled. You didn't play soccer.
I did not play soccer. I wrestled. I played football, but wrestling, the leadership that I got at North Canton by the coaching, Paul Capper, Jamie Fosnight, and Tom Fosnight, set the foundation for me to then pass on, and I felt like this was my time to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super glad to hear that. Mike was a super tough wrestler. He was a hard nut to crack in the wrestling room, but, nonetheless, Mike was as competitive as anybody that I ever coached. So no matter what, you knew when you went out on the mat, you were going to give it everything that you had. Mike, you brought a guy with you here. Introduce him and tell us a little bit about him.
Yeah, this is Jameer. He's a junior at St. Thomas. When I was, first step in the room with this guy, I looked back at when I wrestled, and I also saw one of my best friends, Alex Ramsey, and I looked at this kid and said, this is the combination of both of us, so we can do something with this. So,
attitude and athletic.
He got introduced into the St. Thomas hallway, which was a smaller version of a North Canton hallway. And once we get that tank up and running, he's going to be ready to go.
Yeah, I'll tell you, here a funny fact about that hallway. I don't know if you showed the boys, but there's a hallway we used to make them run down and backs on. And this was before you came. Hank Escola was coaching with us, and he would hold a timer, and he would count it down. If they didn't make it, they'd go right back on the line. That clock did not work. That clock did not work.
It didn't work when I was there either.
Yeah, I totally went off of if they were trying hard enough. It was all about if they were trying as hard as they could, we would let them off the line. If not, we would put them right back on it. And it literally is a 100-yard hallway.
Yeah.
It was 100 yards down, 100 yards back, and we ended up having to stop doing it because school was letting out, and we're sending kids down at full sprints, and they almost ran into teachers, almost ran into kids, and we ended up not being able to. But I'll tell you this, I believe that was the most well-conditioned North Canton team of all time.
Yes. Yeah, and it's great. St. Thomas is a small school in Stark County, obviously, but small wrestling program. But, we're looking to really build that program back up, and there's a lot of great potential there. And, this is one of the leaders of the team that's really going to help us jumpstart that. And I think it was a good opportunity today to show that.
So you're a junior this year?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How many years have you wrestled?
4 years, 5 years.
4 years. You know what? What's cool about like a scenario where you're in is you can just give your best effort, do the best that you can, have as much fun as you can, and hopefully a little kid comes and watches you wrestle and decides, I'd like to do that. And be a pioneer for that program. And then when you're our age, and let me tell you something, it goes fast.
It does.
You come back and you go to a dual meet, and all of a sudden St. Thomas is one of the best teams in the area. You'll be a part of that. What is one of the things that you enjoy most about wrestling?
I'm going to say the ability to push myself and push my friends and my coach, because we have someone who believes in us, and it just means so much when you have someone in your corner and someone that's willing to put that work in for you. And it also just teaches you leadership and how to be a better man and better woman It teaches you how to respect one another. And I feel like everyone needs that spill.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And the things you take out of that as far as being a leader and things and understanding, like doing the right things when people are not watching and things like that. People notice, even though they don't see you waking up early and going for a jog. You know, people notice that about you. You change in a good way, you know, and those leadership things are things that will carry you on through life. So
Absolutely.
That's one of the fun things about being a coach, is watching someone like you grow and maximize your potential.
And that's one of the biggest things I want to pass on to these kids is that, you know, when they graduate, they go to college, they start their own lives. Life is not always easy. It doesn't always go the way you want to.
It rarely is.
But the lessons that you learn on the wrestling mat in practice about pushing yourself and when you don't want to get up and push yourself, you look back and say, hey, there's a reason why I can be as successful as I can because I had that foundation laid.
The way I kind of word it is it boils down to your comfort zone. And the wider and bigger your comfort zone is, the better off and more rounded as a man you'll become. So wrestling pushes you out of your comfort zone every single time you step foot in that room.
Right.
If it doesn't, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You know, so we look forward to watching you wrestle this year. Michael, it's always good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Absolutely. I'm glad
I
to be
wish
back
you
in
the
arena.
best of luck, dude.
Thank you very much.
All right. Michael Wright, head coach at St. Thomas Aquinas. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, this is Jamie Fosnight reporting back here at the Stark County Preview at North Canton Hoover High School. We're wrapping up some more JV matches. Just trying to get everybody here, get them a match, and then we will proceed into round 2 here. As soon as round 2 starts, I'll jump back on. I'll give you the breakdown on each team, and we'll talk about who all's competing out there today, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting ready to start here the second round of the Stark County preview here at North Canton Hoover High School. Looks as though we have Louisville and Minerva on the orange mat right here in front. We have Jackson, and I'm not sure who's over here. Not sure who Jackson is wrestling over there. And we have Tuslaw and Perry on the far mat to the left. North Canton freshman sensation Costa Paxos takes the mat for the first time in high school on the far mat, looking for his third takedown here. I know North Canton is very excited to see him as a freshman. They've been waiting a long time. He's been a multiple-time OAC state finalist, been wrestling his whole life. Very nasty, very, very technical. Very excited to watch his high school career. Let's see the North Canton team here. Head coach Nick Gamble in his 13th season. He's got some returning wrestlers, Stamatios Paxos, Ethan Kling, and JT Gregory all were in the match to go to the state tournament last year. So good district experience coming back. Plus you have the freshman Costa Paxos coming in, who will be quite the hammer. That's 4 legit state qualifiers that they could pull out at North Canton this year. And they are wrestling. I say that was can't tell who that is in red over there. Paxos with the pin. Looks like Northwest. Looks like Northwest. Let's see what we got on Northwest here. Maybe I don't have the information on Northwest. Doesn't look like I do. Oh, here we go. Northwest head coach Art Kali. Leaders on the team are Graydon Silman, Abram Lazaris, and AJ Fowler. Looks like they're the leaders of the team. Seems as though they're a little bit inexperienced, but they got some good kids coming back. So hopefully Northwest has a good year. I know we had Coach Talarczyk on earlier, who coaches that middle school program. So I'm sure that they're going to have those the Walt Talarczyk North Canton ideals that he preaches and shows when David's coaching wrestling. Always puts out disciplined, tough kids. Yeah, that is Northwest there. Coach Kali rocking the red shoes, looking sharp. Always enjoy a good shoe game. Then we got on the red mat down here in front of us, we got Louisville taking on Minerva. Louisville, we have Coach Rocky Laughlin back at the helm. Took a few years off, coaching up his sons and getting ready to go here. He's got Paxton Laughlin, his son, is a 10th grader, wrestling 106 this year for him. or 113. Xavier Poland, Colton Rhodes, Caden Barker. There's some real tough kids coming back for them. Micah Bricker, some real solid kids. Louisville has as of late, been one of the better wrestling programs in Stark County. Louisville and Perry are obviously were the two best the last few years. I don't see that wavering. I think that Louisville is going to continue to get better every year now that Coach Laughlin is back at the helm. Looking at Minerva here. Let's see here. For the boys, we have Coach Kenny Bomberich. He's got some good kids coming back. He's got junior standout Jason Civey, who was third at the sectional last year and fifth at the district, so he's state alternate. Also has Ethan Weaver at 157, two-time district qualifier. Adds some depth and experience to the middleweights. Also, Colton Almsey at 113. He was sectional runner-up and district qualifier. And then you also, rounding it out, have Timmy Kirkpatrick at 175, district alternate. So it looks like they have some good experience coming back too. Then on the far mat, we have Tuslaw and we have Perry wrestling there. Let's see here. How are you, sir? Very nice. Yeah, throw that on here. Joining me here, I have Harold Smith, state champ for Canton McKinley in 1974. Mr. Smith, how are you today?
Oh, fantastic. Out here loving some wrestling.
Absolutely. This is our Stark County annual preview. You know what? I've seen you around many times. I apologize. I don't think we've met. I'm Jamie Fosnight. I've been a North Canton coach for 25 years.
Yes.
But it's great to see you, and that's one of the things a lot of programs need is guys that did well in the past to still be around. It always goes a long way for all schools. You know, do you know a whole lot about the Bulldogs this year?
Not too much, but I'm learning along the way.
I had I don't know if I did. I don't think I had a breakdown on their team this year in the program here. I know that usually with McKinley it's always a little tougher. It's hard to get a youth program. There are times where you have a good youth program and then they filter off or they end up somewhere else, you know, because McKinley, I had McKinley ties in my house growing up, so I understand that McKinley is a very traditional school. They love their basketball, they love their football, and I understand why, you know, but I've just been waiting for someone to take over that program and sink their teeth into it and help build that football team, you know, through a wrestling program. And you know, many have tried and they've always been able to put out quality kids, but have had a hard time putting out quality lineups. You know, so I'm always excited to see the Bulldogs. I'm a fan. I'm always cheering for, don't tell anybody, but I always cheer for McKinley against Massillon in the football game. You know, my grandmother would roll over in her grave if I didn't cheer for the Bulldogs. So what, as a fan this year, what do you look forward to out of the Bulldogs? Obviously, you'd like to see them finish in the middle of the pack at the Federal League. You know, do you have any idea of what kind of amount of state qualifiers they may have this year?
No, not for sure, but I see some, you know, class guys here and there. That's how McKinley be.
They looked good in their dual meet. I saw a few of their matches. I know the coaches are working real hard on getting them caught up and getting the technique in them. Usually they have some really good athletes. It's just a matter of, teaching them the little things. Things get harder when you get into high school.
Yes, sir.
A good double and a wrist and a half isn't good enough for this level. You got to start wrestling in combinations and chain wrestling and things like that. And, once you tend to see some of the kids in McKinley having average high school careers but doing better in college. They get in a room where they do have depth, and all of a sudden they're training at a higher level, and all of a sudden they flourish. I can't think of what's the kid's name that is fighting now. I can't think of his name. He was a good wrestler. He wrestled at Notre Dame College. He just fought a couple of times. Fought at the Canton Civic Center like 2 years ago. He's still around. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Gosh darn it. I can't think of it, but he was the national champ, I believe, at Notre Dame College. And that's it. That's what it takes. They don't have that room of killers to escalate everybody, and they're just depending on a lot of athleticism, and that only takes you so far when, one guy's playing chess and the other guy's playing checkers. That as a state champion. What were some of your influences back when you were a wrestler?
Oh, wrestling is a hard sport, but because I loved it, everything that we did, the hard wrestling and running, it's scientific. The better you are with whatever, the technique, then you got to have the energy, your mind to get it. There's a lot of things involved, but I think me just enjoying it so much that it was so easy, and it made it easy for me to stick. Because a lot of guys come in and they, it's been people coming in one day and they're out of there before they even get the feel of it. But I stayed there, and I got bit by the bug. And I wasn't going anywhere,
Did you wrestle with Ray McDonald at all? He was the Timken guy.
Timken. That's my Canton brother, and I love him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's Timken, and I'm
Ray is everybody's brother.
Yeah.
He's an amazing person.
Right.
He's an amazing person. But he's around that era, right?
Yes. He's a couple of years older than I.
Okay.
I knew him back then, and we still friendship now.
Yeah.
So, I love seeing him do what he do, and he turned out to be quite the catcher, the coach, workout man, whatever you want to call him. He's
whatever
there.
he decides to be that day.
And wrestler, of course.
Yes, absolutely. Still wrestling. And
yes, sir.
Still winning national titles. He's I know he works for Rudis down in Marysville, and I have some people down in Marysville, so it was funny because I'd reach out to them, and I'm like, hey, have you met my man Ray McDonald yet? And he's like, yeah, that guy's awesome. I'm like, you're right, he is. He's a great person.
Yes.
Stark County all day. And that's another thing that's fun about this is, it may be a little different from your era to today is these kids practice together all summer. Like so many kids on each team. We had Coach Riggs on a little bit ago, and he was talking about the program he built, the Riggs Elite, after he left Perry. Right. And he said there's Riggs Elite kids on almost every team here. Yeah. And that's what part of the fun of it is, they train together all year. You go to the state tournament, all of a sudden you're the only guy on your team, and you look over to your right, and there's two guys that you drilled with all summer for you to work out with. And that's a really neat thing to see happen.
Yeah, no, Ohio's always been like a hotbed because, when I was coming up, I started in the 9th grade, which is kind of short. A lot of people start when they're younger. So I started off in the 9th grade, but I picked up because I got turned on to the freestyle. And I think going over it in the summertime just boosted me right on.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it, and a big part of it is getting that time in the summer. I had I'll never forget, I was at a camp one year, and there was a Russian guy, and he would explain that wrestling ends in March and starts in April in a real thick Russian accent. He's like, it ends in March and starts in April. So those guys that are elite, they earn it. You'll never be that guy if you're just a winner warrior, and I'm never going to tell anybody not to go out for the football team and things like that. I certainly loved my time as a high school football player. I wouldn't trade those football games to win 3 more matches at the end of my senior season. That's kind of how I look at it. That would have made me a state placer, but I look at it more as though I got to do that football thing in Stark County, which is still near and dear to my heart, But those guys that are willing to pay that price, they're the ones that you'll see on day 3 of the state wrestling tournament. So, do you go to all of the McKinley matches? Do you go to other local things like the North Canton Holiday Tournament? Do you go to stuff like that just to see quality wrestling?
Yes, because I know coming up, North Canton Tournament it always wound up on the 22nd of December, which is my birthday.
Oh, I'm the 21st.
Yeah, so, I came here and most of the time I did well. And I enjoyed that tournament. It was really one of the tougher tournaments you can go to.
It is.
So that's kind of like a measuring stick.
At the beginning of the season, yeah.
Yeah, and if you do well there, then you may have something. So,
absolutely.
I'll come and watch them now because I know it's going to be good wrestling.
It definitely is, and you're absolutely right. Now it's a little bigger. There were years where we had the best teams in Ohio, St. Ed's, Walsh Jesuit, and now at North Canton they'll have like 3 to 4 out-of-state schools. I know Canton Macmillan came one year. They were returning state champs from Pennsylvania, and they smashed right through this thing. There's always some really good kids here wrestling in that. If you want to find out how tough your team is, that's a good way to check it.
Sure, you're right.
There's a lot of quality wrestling out there now. We have Louisville, who's become maybe the next Perry coming up through in Stark County. They're COVID kind of hurt them. That was the year that they won the team title, the dual meet title, but they didn't get to wrestle the state tournament. I think they had a really good chance of winning a state title that year as a team, but COVID ruined a lot of things in high school and college sports, but nobody took it on the chin like the Louisville Leopard Wrestling Program, and at least in Stark County.
Yeah, well, all I know back in the days, Slicers, Shoemakers, and those, there was a lot of tough people around here. So, I learned from that watching, because I learned a lot from watching. I had a coach, and my coach was mostly a football player, so I was watching, pick up a lot of stuff, and I had Bobby Douglas, his book, and that kind of rolled me right along. But you guys, man,
back then, now,
Canton was tough as nails.
Yeah, I had David on earlier. Walt Talarchek really did impact Stark County in Ohio wrestling.
Yes, he's a great man.
He really did. He did a lot he's part of the reason why we're here. I mean, he started this with a couple of parents, and I think David said in like 1979 he started this, and there were 2 scholarship winners, and now there's like, $1,500 winners, and college kids can come back and re-enter for like 3 years and end up getting like $3,000. So this is a great event. It's for a great cause, and wrestling doesn't always get all the flowers, if you will, but
exactly.
But you know what? Wrestlers aren't people that look for that. They're the ones that are working when no one's watching and things like that. It was, you never, up until the UFC came about, there was nothing professional for a wrestler to do afterwards. You just did it because you loved it.
Yes.
And it was very pure. And that's one, and also, even though that's something that most people don't gravitate towards, a lot of people actually do. They're not in it to be in the NFL or to be in the NBA. Yeah. They do it because they're so passionate. They get that bug.
The sport.
They get that bug, and once it's in your blood, man, it just doesn't go away.
Yeah, it's over with. And also that passes on, because I had 2 brothers. They both wrestled, and A lot of times it's the family. It just
Absolutely.
keep connecting and spreads out, and it builds it up and makes it better. So.
Yeah, well, I wrestled because of my big brother. My big brother graduated in '83, and he was state runner-up, and I grew up with his and my sister's trophies all over the place in the house. And I was way younger. Yeah, I was way younger. I wanted to be the football player for my dad. My dad was a football player. He never wrestled, and he just stood. My dad was the best wrestling dad there was because he didn't really understand it, and he didn't pretend to. He would just come over. No matter what happened, he would tell us that he was proud of us. You know, my brother was the one who was ripping me in the hallway.
Oh, he's the man. Okay.
It's funny, a lot of people in the wrestling community, they think that my brother is my dad. It's really funny. Anybody that I see down there and they ask me how my dad's doing, I tell them that they don't know my dad. They don't know. But he's 14 years older than me, and he started coaching middle school wrestling at 20 years old, and he's got a 5-year-old with him, you know, so everybody just thought I was his son.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's funny. There's a lot of people that think that's my dad. He coached wrestling for 35 years, and I coached for 25 with him and on my own, and like you said, once you get that bug, there's no getting rid of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I got the bug, and I want to see the young guys be successful, what they do, and to sit by and watch it is a great thing. It's a little bit harder on them because I could sit all day when I was in high school, you know. Yeah. Because, you know, you 2 days, take a road trip, you know, take a sack lunch, and we stay and we wrestle all day, come back and and handling the bench fine. The bench is a little bit
sitting in the bleachers is a whole different animal.
Yes, it's a little bit more to it when you get a little older. But I love it, you know. And this tournament here is y'all are doing something good. Let's keep that up, keep it going.
Absolutely.
Because you know, my thing is build wrestling, keep building. And we got the ladies wrestling and everything now, so. What more can we ask for?
I'll tell you what, Stark County's going to make some noise at the state tournament. We have some really good girls.
I like that.
The Geckler girl from Perry is one of the best pound. Somebody said earlier that she was ranked pound for pound the best girl in the state of Ohio.
Oh, okay.
She's the real deal. She won Fargo this year. You don't win that on accident. You know, you're the real deal. You go out there and you win a national tournament like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the first girls I seen wrestle was a Perry girl, and she was beating guys, and I'm like, whoa. But now they got ladies. I wonder what she'd do now, just wrestling straight ladies, but she was beating some guys and stuff, so it's a nice program.
Yeah, and you need that because there were always girls that wrestled, and then once middle school happened, you know, because they actually go through puberty earlier. So girls will start to go through puberty in like 4th and 5th grade, and they're beating up the dudes in youth. Yeah. And then in middle school, once they start wrestling 8th graders, it gets a little different, and then the girls would fall off. Now that the girls can wrestle other girls, you know, the sport is truly growing, and it's great to see because anybody can get that bug. Anybody can get that bug, and I believe, you know, wrestling is not for everyone, but I do believe that everyone should get exposed to it because you just never know. It's not just the cavemen type that like to fight. You know, there is an aspect to that, don't get me wrong, but it's also, there's a lot of bookworms that are very intelligent people that enjoy the training and enjoy the chess match of the wrestling match and things of that nature. So it takes all different sizes, it takes all different types of people, and that's a part of what makes wrestling great.
Yeah, I'd like to say that any football coaches, they might want to get their wrestle. I think a lot of coaches kind of figuring it out. Wrestle and football, that's a combination, and some of the football's going to help them with their football tackling and takedown.
Well, especially nowadays when, you know, obviously from your era to my era to now, obviously football is a different sport. I was watching the 1988 Browns game on YouTube the other day. Browns Oilers. And this dude got hit. A wide receiver came across the middle. He got lit up, and he laid there motionless. And today, everybody would, like, the world would stop and everybody would pray. And the commentator's like, he'll be fine. He's a tough guy. Like, it's crazy, right? So nowadays, kids aren't having contact in practice. They're tackling very little.
Yeah.
You know, to spend a winter learning a double leg will make such a difference to your defense, let alone your linemen wrestling as heavyweights and learning how to give pressure and take pressure and make a guy take a step and be able to do all that stuff. Wrestling is awesome for a football player.
Yes, sir.
And I'll tell you this, it's pretty common to ask anybody who wrestled and did any other sport, and you ask them what the hardest thing they did, and it's always wrestling. I've never met anybody that played football, baseball, and wrestled and said baseball was a harder sport.
I think you're right.
Hitting a curveball is difficult, but the sport's not hard. Like, they don't have to train in the same way that we have to. Our repetitions are different than theirs.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Well, sir, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Feel free anytime. You're welcome to pop in on us.
Okay.
We'll be at the holiday tournament.
I might have to take you on.
You are more than welcome to jump on with us at any time.
Great.
I'm glad I got to meet you, man. You have a great day. Hey, my birthday's December 21st, so I have plenty of holiday tournaments on my birthday, too. I'll remember that when I see you.
Okay.
You have a good one.
Have a good evening.
All right. That's so fun to have different people from all different schools. Class of 1974, and he's still here taking it in, watching his alma mater wrestle. All right, we gapped for about half of that duel. Let's see, I did not give the breakdown for the Perry Panthers yet over there. Let's get into that here. So first of all, we have first-year coach Danny Jenniden, state champ for Perry. Looking forward to seeing what he can do with with a room full of killers he inherited. Starting off, you have Sam Adams, was 4th in the state last year. Lincoln Rohr, who was 7th. My boy Liston Seibert, who took 2nd last year, one of my favorite kids in the entire county. You have Mason Rohr, returning state champ. Brendan Warwick, 5th last year. Craig Horak was 3rd last year. Xander Horak was 5th last year. What a team. I mean, you can't say enough about this Perry Panther program. Constantly reinventing itself and constantly putting the best product on the mat that you can possibly see. Let's see if we can get them on for a little bit here. Not sure who we have for the Panthers there, but he's looks like he won his match against the Tuslaw guy. Do I have my Tuslaw stuff? Let's see here. And Tuslaw's 4th-year head coach, Mike Petreem, bringing in some returning wrestlers like Brett Hall, Colton Oakleaf, Chance Grimm joined the varsity, and then you got Connor Lawson. He's going to add some strength to the lineup. You got Logan Hayer. Had a good summer. He was a Fargo freestyle Greco guy. And Gunnar Eberhardt had a solid off season. So it looks like they got a lot of good kids coming back. So Tuslaw has always had a nice little program too. That's Division II against Division I. Like, you know, Tuslaw might go out there and not win a match against these Panthers, but the Panthers are one of the best teams in the country, not just Stark County, not just Ohio. They're a perennial nationally ranked team. So you can have some pretty solid kids and go into that Perry duel and win very few matches, but it's not that you have a bad team, it's just how good your opponent is. I'll do the best I can. Oh. So Jackson is wrestling Canton South. I thought Canton South wrestled in the first session. I don't know, maybe I just saw a couple of ladies and thought that they were in. I gave the scoop on them. Let's take a look at the Jackson lineup here. I don't believe I covered them.
Attention, coaches, we have an opening on mat number 1. Coaches, if you have any...
Here they are. All right, for the Polar Bears, we have Ronnie Hepner, who enters his 7th year with the program, Carrollton grad. Always does a good job. He has great assistants with him. He's got Zach Meisner over there in the corner, who I know runs an incredible room when he runs practices. They got some returning studs like Jordan Brody McKinney. There's always a McKinney in their lineup for the last 10 years, I bet, it seems like. He's a returning state qualifier. Liam Dillon at 175, returning state alternate. And they have a senior, Mason Winter, at 190. Who they look to anchor, the upper weights. Looks like they were, I know 2 years ago they were full of freshmen. And then, so those guys should be juniors. This should be a nice little lineup for the Polar Bears. I bet that they'll have a nice, when it comes to the Federal League and Stark County, it's almost like everybody's fighting for second. The Panthers tend to run away with the league title. And then, you have GlenOak, North Canton, Lake, and Jackson all fighting for that second spot. Always anticipate a big duel between North Canton and Jackson. I do believe Straggett Media will be doing that dual meet, and a few others we haven't decided. We'll pick out some of the better dual meets each week, and we'll get out and get you some of the best matches we can find for you. There's just something fun about the dual meets. The coaches have their gamesmanship. They do, of which kid goes to what weight to match up with the opponent to try and maximize their team score, so they can win the duel. So each dual meet is a little bit off script. So that's always fun to see how they match them up to maximize their team scoring. So we'll be bringing some of those to you here as the season goes on. Perry's having its way with Tuslaw there already with their heavier guys in there. More still in the middle weights on these other mats. Let's skip over here to this Louisville Marlington match. Seems pretty even right now. But we are starting to wind it down here. We're to some of the bigger guys, and I would say we're at about 170-ish to 190, somewhere in there. So we got about a good half hour left of our broadcast, if that. Nice little shot from the open. Oh, nice reshot from a Minerva guy looking to get his takedown. There, he got it right to his back. 3 points, and the ref is counting the back points as we speak. holding 2. So he got a 3-point takedown and 2 near fall there. Nice little reshot for a takedown. And as we spoke earlier, you know, about the difference between middle school and high school a little bit is that kind of stuff right there. What we just saw, you know, you stop a guy's shot. In middle school, maybe that's where the exchange ends. But in high school, you got to be ready for that reshot. The chain wrestling just goes up to another level. The hand fighting to the shot, to the reshot, to the short offense. It's all chain wrestling, and the guys who have the bigger chain tend to win each exchange. You know, so that's a part of the wrestling, part of the comfort zone that I mentioned before. You know, the very good wrestlers are comfortable in uncomfortable situations and continue to wrestle and continue to stay technical. And that's how you out-wrestle the opponent. If you just stand there flat-footed right in front of them, you're not going to be successful for very long. Russian 2-on-1 out of Minerva there. Little fake. Nice little double out of Louisville here. Good hips, defended well. This could easily be a match to go to the state tournament. These are 2 solid kids right here. I don't know the weights, so I'm not going to guess the kids' names. The last thing I want to do is get the names wrong and say the wrong kid's name the whole match. Minerva kid here is built like a tank here. This could be another good one for these 2. It's looked to be a pretty even duel. Unless I missed something in the beginning. Louisville kid's very long. Looking ankle picks. Long double legs to a body lock. That wrapped up the North Canton Northwest duel. Nice little arm drag out of Louisville. Went to his knees. I'd like to see him move his feet into that arm drag a little bit more, maybe get to a leg off of that. Got a wardrobe malfunction. Looks like his headgear broke there. Got some JV action going on over there between Perry and Tuslaw. Looks like they're wrapped up their duel. Jackson and South are still going on. Minerva's on his back now. It's pretty tight here. I don't know if he's going to get off. Oh, it's close. I'd like to see him maybe circle his feet to the left a little bit. I think that might do it. There it is. That's a wrap there. Got some more JV matches on the mat below us here. We're getting bigger. Looks to be about 2:15 here between Marlington and Louisville. Nice little snap down. Yeah, Louisville's handling business now. Nice little treetop trip there. Again, we're here at the Stark County preview here at North Canton Hoover High School. We're winding down here. Looks like we're still finishing up this dual meet, but I do think that the other ones are pretty well done. I think Jackson and Canton South might still be going here. Again, nice little single for the Louisville kid. Changes off to a double, gets his takedown before they go out of bounds.
Each have about 3 bouts to go. Coaches, when your mat is done, and you introduce, don't roll up the mat. Once again, coaches, when your mat is done.
Can't mention enough how good the group of officials are that we have for this. Excellent group of young and experienced officials. I know there's lots of state tournament officials here. Starting to break down the mats as we wind down here. As they go out of bounds, we're wrapping up this match here. It looks, I think they might be in the second period yet. And from what I've seen, it looks like everybody's ready to go, ready for those 6-minute matches. We were joking around earlier about kids in the hallway dying after 3 minutes of wrestling, but as I can tell from what I can see, everybody looks like they're in wrestling shape and ready to go here, so I do look forward to the season starting here this week. Now we're going to go into the third period here. Looks like the Minerva guy's a little bit undersized, but once your foot's on the line, that doesn't matter. You just get out there and go. We be about the halfway point of this third period here between Louisville and Minerva with a nice little high crotch, cut to a double, drove him across. It's as nice of a technique as you'll see out of a 215 hitting a high crotch. His head was down a little bit, but he took a nice deep penetration shot and drove across just right and got his takedown. May struggle a little bit with a guy more his size with his head down on that shot, but I'm sure Coach Laughlin will straighten that out as the season goes on. Looks like we're going to have a JV match here before the heavyweights go. Probably wrap up here pretty shortly here as the heavyweights of this match go on. Nice little shot for the Louisville guy. Gets his points. Right onto a cross wrist, looking for a little arm bar here. There he goes. Wants to get all the way to the other side and sit through. Catching the forearm, now he's driving it again. There it is. That's a wrap on that one. And here come the big boys. These are the guys that did not miss their Thanksgiving meal. These next guys coming out here. Whereas we've all of us wrestlers remember sitting in the basement while everybody else was eating their Thanksgiving dinner. All right. Final match of this duel. With these heavyweights, a lot of it goes into the battle ahead position and then constantly fighting for inside control, which Minerva seems to be winning that battle here. A little susceptible to a headlock. I'd be a little careful there. I think he's in good shape now. Oh, he's about to pull him right on top of him. He's good there. He lucked out a little bit there. Got his 3 points. The ref stopped for potentially dangerous. I didn't really see what happened there, but looks like Louisville shook up just a little bit, but I think he'll be just fine. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. He does have a knee brace on. Trainer's called over. No, I think he got rolled up a little bit. I think his foot got caught underneath him. Oh, it looks like he's gonna go here. He's got a little hitch in his giddy up, but we'll see. We're gonna hang on until this heavyweight match is over. We'll see if he can continue. They may not have him wrestle. This is just a preview. There's nothing on the line here at all. You absolutely don't want to risk anything for the season at something like this. He's got some weight on it. She's having him walk. Oh, Coach Laughlin is thinking about it. I don't know. At this point, it looks like it's about over. And that's a wrap. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, as they start to tear down, we're going to exit here. Again, this is Jamie Fosnight representing Track and Media at the North Canton High School for the Stark County All-Star, or the Stark County Preview. Was a great night. I'm glad we got to talk to some great guys. I hope you all enjoyed our coverage. Again, we will be at the North Canton Holiday Tournament. We'll be doing some dual meets and some tournaments as the season goes on. So share the website, tell your friends. That way Grandma and Grandpa don't have to come out in the snow. They can watch at home, and we'll be with you to bring you as much wrestling as we can this year. I wish you the best night, and have a great evening. Signing off, Jamie Fosnight. See you next time.